Your company calls you family. And for a while, you believe it. Why wouldn't you? They gave you a cake. They gave you a certificate. They looked you in the eye and said, you matter here. And then one morning, midweek, nothing special about the day, you're staring at your phone. Transaction declined. 0. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a question forms that you can't shake. How does a family do that to someone? You've been in that meeting. Someone walks to the front of the room, smiling, relaxed, and says it. We're not just colleagues here, we're a family. And something in you shifted, that small, warm thing, like maybe this place was different. It wasn't a description, it was a strategy, and the people who used it knew exactly what it would do to you. Companies are statistically more likely to use family language right before they cut people, not after, before, when they need one last round of maximum effort before the announcement drops. In 2023, a major tech CEO spent 2 hours at an all-hands meeting talking about culture and belonging, reportedly dodging every question about the layoffs already decided. That same week, a laid-off employee received a personalized gift in the mail celebrating his 5 years of service, scheduled months in advance, while the decision was already being made.
We will come back to who sent it, but first, there are 8 ways they make you feel like family, and each one costs you more than the last. The 8th one is the hardest to see because it is so normal you stopped noticing it. You just live inside it and wonder why you are so tired. Beyond the written contract, salary, hours, role, there is a second one nobody signs. It says, because we are family, you give more than your job description asks. You stay late, you answer weekends, you carry the company's problems like they are your own, and the dangerous part, you agreed to it the moment you felt proud to belong. One question tells you if you are inside one right now. Do you feel guilty leaving on time? Not watched, guilty, in your own chest. A written contract cannot produce that, only a family obligation can. And here's where it stops being a feeling, because someone measured it. What they found should be on the front page of every employment contract ever signed. Family language spikes in communications in the months before mass layoffs, not after. The clearest documented example is Salesforce. For 2 decades, CEO Mark Benioff built the entire company identity around ohana, the Hawaiian word for family. Then, in January 2023, Salesforce cut 8,000 people. At the all-hands meeting, Benioff reportedly dodged every direct question about the layoffs. That same week, one employee received a surfboard in the mail, congratulating him on 5 years of service, with a note hoping he would keep riding the wave. He had just been laid off. That surfboard was scheduled months in advance, while the decision was already being made. That is the gift from the story at the start. Now you know who sent it, and now you know it was not a mistake.
They had 100 words to choose from. Team, community, tribe, crew. They chose one specific word, and the reason is not innocent. Family is the only word in the human emotional vocabulary that carries unconditional obligation. You can leave a team, you can exit a community, you do not abandon your family. That is precisely why the word was chosen. It borrows the most powerful loyalty mechanism in human psychology and points it at a commercial relationship. Run this test. Replace family with what the relationship actually is, an exchange of labor for compensation. We are not just colleagues, we are an exchange of labor for compensation. The sentence loses all its power instantly. That word was doing enormous emotional work, and it was doing it on purpose. The word alone cannot do anything, though. It only works because of what it unlocks inside you. 3 specific things, running simultaneously, and one of them is probably running in you right now. Once planted, the word operates through guilt. You feel bad setting limits because families have none. Loyalty, leaving feels like betrayal, and identity fusion. Over time, you stop thinking of the job as something you do and start thinking of it as something you are. These three compound. Guilt holds you until loyalty forms. Loyalty holds you until identity fusion sets in. By then, the company does not need to manage you. You manage yourself on their behalf. The way to interrupt it: maintain one serious identity outside of work, a skill, a business, something that answers "who are you?" with an answer that has nothing to do with your employer. The most aggressive version of this trap is not in the corporation. It is in the exact place people run to escape it. In startups, family language fuses with financial language. The late nights are not loyalty, they are investment. The sacrifice is not devotion, it is equity. But most early employee equity either never vests fully, gets diluted into near worthlessness, or comes attached to terms most employees never read carefully enough. The family language keeps you at below market salary, sustained by a payout that statistically does not arrive the way it was implied. If you are in a startup, being told you are founding family, read your vesting schedule, calculate your actual hourly rate, then decide what the family is really worth. The money you can recover, but what comes next does not show up on any financial statement, and most people do not realize it happened until they are already deep inside it. It doesn't happen the day you lose the job, it happens after. When the emails stop and the diary clears, and you realize you don't quite know who you are without the title. If someone asks, "What do you do?" and the only answer you have is a job title that no longer exists, that's identity erosion. The people who recover fastest from layoffs are the ones who had a second answer ready, not because they cared less, but because they never let one institution become the whole definition of themselves.
Everything so far has been psychological, but this next one is sitting in your bank account right now. Family culture makes negotiation feel like a violation. You do not negotiate with family. You trust them to take care of you, so you don't ask. And the gap between what you earn and what you could have negotiated compounds across every year you stayed inside a culture that made asking feel disloyal. That is not a personality trait. That is the quiet contract collecting its fee. After all of this, the easiest conclusion is trust nobody, go cold, treat everything like a transaction. I understand why people land there, but that conclusion is its own trap. Your co-workers are real. The colleague who covered for you, the manager who thought for you, that is genuine. What is not real is the institution's version of that connection. The brand does not love you. The company does not love you, but the person across the desk from you might. Invest fully in the people. Hold loosely to the institution. Never let the logo become part of your identity. Never let family language stop you from negotiating, exploring, or leaving when leaving is right. Hold the people close. Hold the institution loosely. Never confuse the two. You came here thinking, company bad, boss lying, go quit. But that is not what this was. What you got is something most people spend their whole career without: a name for the feeling, the quiet contract, the data pattern, the word chosen deliberately, the three mechanisms, the trap inside the escape, the erosion, the salary gap, and the one distinction that protects you from all of it without making you someone you do not want to be. That is not cynicism, that is clarity, and clarity is the only protection that actually works. One thing before you go, drop one word in the comments, just one, describing what the family trap cost you. Time, guilt, identity. Leave your word, because when you see how many people leave the same one, you will understand exactly why this channel exists. If you are not subscribed, every video here is built on one idea. The moment you understand how something works, it loses its power over you. That is all Saburi knows is.
Subscribe if you want more of that. And if someone you know is still inside a company wondering why loyalty keeps costing them, send them this, not to make them angry, just to give them the name for the feeling.